Hi guys, it's Haley and welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited today because we are talking all about goal planning and planning out your year. So it's a couple days until the new year and it is time for me and you to finally lock in and start planning out our goals. I have always been late to goal planning every single year, so I am finally stepping up and actually planning out a week before what I actually want to accomplish for the 2026 year. And I'm so excited with this new method that I'm trying that also comes with a Notion dashboard because of course I have to build Notion dashboards because I think it's really going to help me focus on my goals and actually achieve them. Whereas usually when I set goals for the year, I forget about them because I get so overwhelmed by the amount of goals that I'm trying to achieve. In this video, I'm actually going to walk through my Notion dashboard that I put together and also walk through how I am planning out my goals to make them actually achievable this year. And hopefully this can help you if you've also been struggling with achieving your goals. I have also made this Notion dashboard template available to you. You can click the link down in the description below to access it. I am so proud of this, excited about it, and I think it's really going to be helpful in organizing your goals and bringing them from a big goal planning dash to actually achievable tasks that you can complete. One of my struggles with goal planning, like I said, is a lot of times I have so many different goals and ideas and things that I want to accomplish for the year. Minuscule things like, oh, I want to, hang out with a friend once a week and I want to work out 5 times a week and I want to make a certain number of videos a week, and I also want to go on this trip, and all of these different things that I am trying to track and also maintain progress on. And something that I've learned about goals over the year is that when you are overwhelming yourself with goals, you don't have the ability to prioritize what is most important to you. And so oftentimes you get burnt out and just completely forget them all. So what we are trying with goals this year is actually limiting our goals to only 1 or 2 prioritized goals for the whole year, which I know sounds absolutely crazy, but stay with me. The thing is, when you are trying to achieve something new, you're probably adding more to your plate in your life, which also means you have to take things off your plate. Now, easy things to take off are less scrolling during the day, maybe less TV time, maybe it's less social time, but you're also going to have a give and take in other areas of your life. And so with your goals, I like thinking of them as kind of that high focus where you want your life to head in the next year. When you have that high singular or dual focus, every single decision you make should be compared to that single focus for the year. Now I'm gonna hop into my example to kind of walk through what that actually looks like. So let's hop on over to the Notion dashboard now. Okay, so here is my 2026 goal planning dashboard. I call it my 2026 dreaming dashboard. And as you can see, I've actually already filled a lot of this out. So I'm gonna walk through what I actually went through, what I decided to add, etc. So the first thing with goal planning that I think is really important is doing reflection over the past year. Again, whether you're doing this at the start of 2026 or you're doing it at 2027 or you're doing it in the middle of the year, I think it's really important to pause and reflect on what went well, what didn't go well, and what you want your focus to be in the future. So in my template, what I added were 10 different areas to reflect over. And the one thing I would say is take your time reflecting with this. Maybe do all of this goal planning over a couple of days. I didn't do all of mine in a single day just because that is seriously so overwhelming, guys. So I would just focus on trying to fill out slowly so you have time to reflect. But anyways, the different areas that I talked over were my year in a single glance. Things like what was the word of the year, the overall theme of the past year for me. I walked through my personal highlights, challenges and growth, relationships and community, and so on and so forth, reflecting in every single area of my life with these really poignant questions to make sure that I truly thought through what I enjoyed about the past year and what I really struggled with. I'm not going to actually walk through all of my reflection over the last year because that is so much, but just personally, what I realized over the past year was I am extremely burnout. I was very burnout at the start of the year, trying to do too many things at once. Like I said, I had so many goals. I had a really stressful job the past year, which I'm still in. I was trying to run a business and do content creation and do so much. And so that was really kind of ended up being the word and theme of the year for me last year, which I really didn't love. So I knew going into this year, I needed to change that. Personal highlights and things that I was proud of myself for. I started a BookTok account and Bookstagram account this year, and I've slowly been growing that. And it's just been a fun outlet for me and my hobby of reading, as you can see all of our books back here. It's just been really fun to creatively think outside the box on those channels without having to worry about numbers and metrics. I think the moment that made me feel most alive last year was our getaway. We went to Ouray, Colorado. It was absolutely incredible and beautiful, and it just reminded me that it's so important to have at least a week where you're completely disconnected from everyone and everything and able to relax, do the things that you love, and just step away for a moment. So I really want to make sure I incorporate that into my next year in some way. Also, I'm someone who freaks out over finances. My husband's probably listening to this and he's laughing because I worry about money so much. And so going over the money and lifestyle section for me was so important to think about what my big financial wins for the year were. I got a big bonus at work. I managed to get a raise as well. And we also hit a lot of our money saving goals last year. And that is something to celebrate. I think it's so easy to quickly move the markers once you achieve something. So again, this reflection is so helpful to just be grateful over what you achieved, even if you didn't hit all of your goals for the last year. So anyways, that's enough talking, but this reflection section is in your template, so you are able to walk through that as well. Now, hopping into some of the fun things that I did before actually setting my goals, I set these different things of the year. I think that is just something really fun, and again, helps you stay focused and stay excited about the year to come. The 3 items that I have are the theme of the year, the word of the year, and the color of the year. And I just spent some time after going through my reflections, kind of thinking about, okay, what do I want to change about this next year? What does that look like? And what words and colors kind of feel aligned with that. My theme of the year, I did trusting myself, building boldly, and living fully. I think those were 3 things that I really struggled with last year, is really leaning in and trusting myself, building with confidence, and also embracing the life around me instead of worrying about the future. So that's the theme that I want to carry into 2026. My word of the year is bold, because I have a lot of dreams, or actually kind of like a big dream that I want to try to accomplish this year. And so I want to go for it 100% without, holding myself back at all. And so I need to be bold. So that's my word of the year. And then color of the year. So I love the color season trend. I'm a soft summer, and so I wanted to pull colors that still kind of felt like me, but also different. And so deep burgundy is my color of the year. That's why we're wearing this little burgundy shirt, with little hints of evergreen as well as slate blue. I always have to have blue. That is my favorite color. That's literally all over me all the time. So that is going to be part of my colors of the year. You don't have to have multiple colors of the year or even do this, but I think it's just fun. Next thing I did was I made a Pinterest vision board. So with the Pinterest vision board, I only spent about 15 minutes putting this together, and I wanted to be really intentional about the things that I was adding. So of course I added things like my actual colors of the year to make sure that was infused in here. But I also added other themes like your life can change, more books, less screens, because I want to have less screen time. I also put my favorite Disney character in here, Belle, because I just love her, and I guess I want to be like her. And also she fit in the color themes So honestly, that's why she's been added. We're going to be moving. So I have, pictures of moving boxes. I want to do more content creation. So that's in there as well. Now getting into the actual goal planning. So like I said, I really wanted to focus on one single goal for the year. And so what I did was I created this My Goals database. So what you can do here is actually create a new goal. I'll go ahead and just pop like a new one open to show you as an example. But if you click open this new page, you're going to see a few different areas. So we have the life area for the goal. So I made different options. You can always change these if you want. If you want to type in something like social, you can do that and create a new one and add it there. So really, really simple for you to do. I'll go ahead and delete that. But go ahead and choose your life area. The project section you can leave out. I'll show that shortly. You can upload a little photo if you want something attached to this. And then the year, I just put this. So if you're trying to brainstorm different goals and decide where they fall, you can add things to 2026 and then decide later if you want to push it to 2027, you can. Now with goal planning, I think it's really important to think about your why behind the goal. So why are you actually doing this goal? What do you want to achieve? What is driving you to prioritize this goal in your life? Second thing is thinking about what does success look like for you when you reach this goal. I think it's really important to visualize what is the end point of this goal. What does that look like? Again, making SMART goals is things that are measurable. So making sure that you have that goal post, because then you can actually celebrate yourself instead of continuing to move the goal post further and further back, even when you achieve what you originally wanted. Next section I have is brainstorming major checkpoints on the way to your goal. This is kind of to help you break down the goal into measurable action items, which we'll utilize later on. Then also just taking a step back and identifying what are potential obstacles that you could face and how could you deal with them. I'm going to go ahead and show you one of my main goals of the year, which is become a content creator. I know I am already creating content, so in a way, I'm kind of being a content creator, but you'll see what does success actually look like for me here. So my motivation behind it, I have been thinking about this for several years, and I think it's finally time to fully lean into that and to consistently create content and create all of these ideas that I've had in my head for so long. Success for me looks like building sustainable income through content creation and digital product services. I didn't put any numbers here for this video just because that's a little private to myself. But I brainstormed my major checkpoints and potential obstacles that I could face and how I deal with them, just doubting myself, not liking my ideas or content, and how to combat that is really pivoting quickly and continuing to be consistent. My second goal is creating a life that is boldly myself. The reason I did this is I'm someone who struggles with people pleasing. And I know that because of that, a lot of times I am neglecting my own wants and needs and desires and what I want to achieve in life because I'm trying to appease everyone else, whether that's at work or in my social life. So I wanted to make sure my other focus and prioritization was focusing on creating intentionally my own life. That is my personal goal here, and I filled out all of these details. We have these two goals, and these are, like I said, what are going to be driving us for the entire year. So when you're thinking about the different decisions that you're making throughout the year, want to step back and think, how is this decision helping drive me towards my goal? Obviously, there are going to be decisions here and there that are going to maybe take you a step back away from your goal, but may still be important to yourself. Maybe you have a financial goal, but an unexpected medical expense comes up. Of course, you want to cover that. So there is some flexibility here, but overall, having these one or two main goals are going to help you really stay focused and actually accomplish what you want to. We have these high level goals now, and what I've done on this template is I have created a step down to help you brainstorm further and further, which I have called goal projects. So with goal projects, my purpose behind this is so you can actually start figuring out how can you break down these goals into measurable action items. So with goal projects, when I think about them, these are kind of like still high level, but overall targets you are trying to reach over one or maybe multiple quarters throughout the year. With the projects, what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and create a new one. As you can see, it already auto chooses the parent goal that we were under. And so with this project, I'm going to say I want to consistently create content weekly for my 3 main platforms. This is YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. Okay. The progress is empty right now, obviously, because we don't have any tasks. Add the quarter next, and this is going to be across all of the quarters because this goal is consistently creating content, and it's not something that I'm going to want to change over the year. And then this is, of course, a business goal again. All right, so we have this high level project here. And the next thing that we're gonna do is think about the actual tasks that tie into this project. So for me, the first task that I wanna do is figure out what my content pillars are for my channels. So I'm gonna go ahead and decide on content pillars here. This is going to be a task. I'm going to go ahead and schedule that for January 3rd. That's going to take me about 60 minutes to decide, and that's going to be high priority for myself. I'll go ahead and go back to my project, and the next task that I want to do is decide on a posting schedule that I can commit to. So we'll go ahead and make that for the 4th. I'll make that again for 60 minutes and high priority. Again, you can customize these if you want to add different, time metrics, etc. But that's the easiest for myself. All right, so we have our project here. We have a couple tasks. Again, I'm not going to break down and add everything, but this is kind of how we're going to think about things. Going back to my goal projects, I think the next thing that I want to do is develop my digital solutions to sell. So we're going to go ahead and add that here. This is going to be something I want to do in Q2 and Q3. Again, business, we're going to make a new page here. And then down here at the bottom, I'm going to start adding tasks. So one example task here is maybe building my reading library template. That's something that I want to finally finish this year. Since this is in Q2, I'm going to throw that all the way in April. That's going to take probably more than 2 hours to do and high priority. And then maybe another one is building the Squarespace page to sell the template. Okay, so obviously there are lots of tasks that I can do and add here. Go ahead and do that on the 13th. That's probably going to take 2 hours and high priority. So again, with this goal and project planning, obviously you're not going to sit down and do all of this at once. This is something that you can return back to over and over again as you are doing your goal planning, checking in with yourself, planning out the rest of your year, etc. Now, how you can actually dive deeper into these pages. So this is our goals dashboard. Again, this is our inspiration dashboard where we can see these high-level goals. To dive deeper into the projects, we have a My Projects page, which you can see here, our main high-level projects. We can see what quarters they're in, any progress we've made on the tasks here. And then of course we can click into the project and see the tasks under each one. Okay, so here we have your daily tasks page, which is the page you're probably going to be using the most day to day, because this is where you can stay organized and figure out what tasks you need to get done each day, which ones you've fallen behind on, and more. So you can see here all of those tasks that I have created are now on my daily tasks. I can see here on this list view when I'm going to be addressing each task. You can also add more filters if you want to filter out maybe dates that are way in advance that you don't want to see. And then you can also view tasks by the calendar here as well. To create a new task, you can just click new or create task here. It's going to do the same thing for you. And this is also where I like to organize all of also my own tasks throughout the day. So for instance, if I have to, take the car in, I can add that here. Since I don't really have a project related to this, I can also just leave that empty. It's not really a priority for me to fill out, but this is again a way for me to just stay organized with all of the tasks that I have to do, as well as the tasks that lead up to the projects and goals that I have for the year. Now, one thing I really love about Notion are automations, and everything here that I'm about to show you is included in the free Notion, so you can set it up yourself. But for instance, let's say I have figured out that I want to post 2 YouTube videos a week. Well, I can actually create a task for myself that is going to auto-populate twice a week for those YouTube video tasks. So for instance, let's go ahead. What you're gonna do is click this drop down and click New Template. And here I'm gonna put Create YouTube Video. I'm going to make my start date be today. My estimated time is going to be about, let's say, 2 hours. This is going to go to my consistent content creation bucket, and this is high priority, okay? Now, the next thing that I can do, I'm going to go ahead and create that. Now I'm going to click that drop down again and click this little 3 dots by it and click this repeat button. And I'm going to do this every week, and then I'm going to do it every Monday and Wednesday. Here we go. So now every single Monday and Wednesday, this task is going to auto-populate on my task list for me to be able to complete. And this is a really great way for you to stay organized. I love putting like all of my weekly cleaning tasks in here, auto-populating. I add things like my weekly budget review in here, and this just really helps me stay organized with my tasks for the week. And you can see over here as well, I have my daily habits. So this is something that you also will have access to. If we go back to your main dashboard down at the bottom, we have your My Habits page. And here is where you can set your habits. So I have pre-filled the template with my own habits, but you can go in and change these. You can also add new habits. So you're just going to make it a check box right down here and then type in whatever habit you want. Maybe you want to eat 3 greens. Perfect. And then what happens is on your daily tasks page, every single day, it creates a new habits section for you to check off. So you can see here, I can check off my habits for today. If I go back to that habits page, you can see here for this day, it's going to check off. And this new page is auto-populated for you every single day. So you don't have to create a new habits entry every single day. You just have to go in and check the habits yourself. So again, super great automation for you. But I think habit tracking is really, really helpful and essential alongside your goal planning for your year. The last little section that I have here, one is, it's not working right now. I think there's an issue with Spotify, but I put my album of the year here to inspire myself if I need something to listen to while I am goal planning and dreaming. And then I also have my little inspo corner. So I chose 3 people that really inspire me and links to their content if I ever want to refer back to them while I am thinking about my own goals for the year and needing some inspiration. So that is my goal planning and my goals for the year. I'm so excited for this. I think this template will be really helpful for you to focus on for your year. So if you want to use it, again, the link is below. Here is what the template looks like. It is so much fun. It's so colorful. People usually ask me, so I go on to Pinterest for all of my images, and then I create little icons in Canva for myself. Obviously, for this template, I did not grab Pinterest photos because that is copyrighted. So these are all just free graphics or images that I was able to get through stock sites. Again, the template is below in my description if you want to grab that and use it. If you have any questions, please add them to the comments below. I'm so excited for you. I hope planning for 2026 or whatever you're planning for goes so well. If you have stayed this long and if you love chatting about Notion, chatting about goal planning and more, I would love to have you subscribe and follow along. Thank you so much for watching and have such an incredible day.